Hello riders and not. Today is a good day. Today is a happy day. Today is a mended day. And we're building a track bike. We're building a jigsaw. But first of all, a surprise present for Simon. He actually damaged his one good leg that he had left. And I got him from Luis Moto, who's back to be partners of the channel. Thank you, Luis Moto. I got him a present which will help with his bad leg. How do you get it out of fucking van? Simon! Simon! I locked myself in the van! I locked myself in the van, can you rescue me? I locked myself in the van, don't knock the camera off.
What have you done?
I locked myself in the van, the door just closed. And I couldn't open it. But I got you a present. Do you need help to carry that?
I might need help putting it together.
Oh, okay.
It looks quite complicated.
Let me get my tools. My Rothwell tools. Hey, Pickle. Okay, so this part goes in there and this part goes in there. I think as simple as that.
Right, that plastic thing's probably got a thread on it, isn't it? That's why they put that plastic thing on.
No, it's on.
Is it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
That's so good, isn't it?
Rich! 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 Look what I got.
Oh, look at that, eh? Sweet.
Rich, you're not allowed to go away with it. Don't break it on the first day. Okay, everyone shush now because it's very important. This build is not for fun.
It is.
It is not.
Everything's for
This
fun.
one is very serious and it's a lot of information for me to consume. So I have to hear and they have to hear
busy.
everything. So no distractions, Richard.
I'm really dizzy.
Today on the bench we have a swing arm and we have a frame of jigsaw, case 6 and 7. And together that makes a chassis of a motorcycle.
Yeah,
Chassis or chassis,
Yeah.
depends where you live, which side of a pond you live on.
Say it the Welsh way.
What's the Welsh way?
Chassis. Oh, Pickle's here now. Bloody hell.
Pickle, you're not allowed to bark now. We're talking about the chassis and that is very important, Pickle.
Oh, there's a boy stuck down a mine. Oh, not really. This particular bike, or this particular bits that we've got left to try and build a bike out of is when, back in the day when we were racing these at Supersport, and you accumulate loads of parts, obviously. Sam managed to wreck 2 frames and several swing arms and whatever throughout the season that we were doing. So we just accumulated spares all the time. I had a spare engine, a wet setup engine that was just a stock standard Gixxer motor, 600. So what happened was when we were trying to come up with ideas of what we were going to do for this year's build, I was like, well, why don't we build this? Because I've pretty much got everything that we need to build a track bike, and then we can get you out on track. This frame has been filled in, the swing arm has been filled in. It doesn't add any torsional stiffness. It doesn't affect anything before the haters start hating about what we've done with the frame. It doesn't even affect the cooling of the motor. The airflow of the motor is unaffected. It probably weighs about a few grams more than it did, so that doesn't really matter. But what we're going to try and achieve with this bike is to build a funky little track bike that's got a different spin to it, and it looks a little bit factory, maybe a little bit MotoGP, a little bit Moto2. So as far as build goes, this is still a custom build, but one that we can seriously use on track, which will be bloody good fun.
That's scary, you know.
No.
I haven't even rode the first bike that I built, and now I have to build that one and ride it on the track.
This will probably be running and riding before
the other one.
Jonesy, yeah.
But can you blame me? I'm probably more excited about this one than Jonesy, to be honest. As much as I love Jonesy,
I am very excited about this bike. Not that excited about Jonesy, but
yeah, Jonesy was about the looks, and
Jonesy was an amazing build.
I've learned so much.
Hell yeah. Well, we're going to put a lot of that into practice with this.
What is the weak points of the frame of that?
On the early GSXRs, it was the headstock. The headstock used to crack because of the way it was welded up here. But on these frames, they improved. It was the K5, I think, especially the thousands. Suzuki even brought out a mod. When I was working for Suzuki at the time, I must have done 40 mods to the frames to stop them from cracking or crack test them, and then fit this little brace back when I was working for Suzuki. But that was the K5, K6 thousands, not 750, 600s. But since then it had been revamped. The frame was redesigned up the front, and these frames, Sam, well, I've binned one of them quite badly. Sam actually barrel rolled one of these frames and scuffed it up pretty bad, but we had it checked. We had it laser checked after the crash to build the bike up, and it was still arrow straight. And it literally did go over and over it, and bent the forks, broke the back wheel. That's how bad it was. But and the frame was still absolutely arrow straight. So this particular one was crashed at Alton. I think it was on telly. One of Sam's crashing in the wet. It crashed it at Alton, and it gravelled the whole side of this, which is one of the reasons why we're using this frame, because this was pretty badly damaged up here, but we've repaired it all now. Today we're going to swing arm in, shock in, yokes in, forks in. That'll get the chassis up on a stand. We've got to clean the engine because that's minging.
We're going to do it ourselves.
That's been, yeah, you're going to do it in a minute.
Okay.
That's been sat about.
And which engine is this?
That's a
6 or 7?
K7 600. Mm-hmm. Stock engine, but more than enough for you. More than enough.
I
for
believe
you.
so.
Yeah.
I agree completely.
Yeah, cracking little engine. Great little engines. Really, really usable, really revvy. 104 brake horsepower out the crate, and then with some Willits tuning maybe, or even a power commander and that on it, we'll probably get 110 odd horsepower out of it.
I believe that small engine, smaller bike will be more suitable for a new rider. Like, I'm completely new rider on sports bikes. I call myself a new rider. For a new rider to learn faster. I think you can learn on both. Like, it's all here, but I will learn it faster.
It's having confidence in the bike. You know that this chassis setup is.
I'm not sure about that.
This
Especially my weld.
will be all you'd. I mean, just a stock Gixxer would be absolutely fine, but having confidence, knowing that what you've got underneath you is spot on and can cope with everything even nasty episodes where you've overshot a little bit and you need to brake a little bit harder, or even if you're slightly too hard coming on the throttle mid corner, you know it's not going to spin, it's not going to. It'd be perfect, absolutely perfect.
That's exciting.
Yeah, no, it'd be great fun. I am really excited about this. I got up super early this morning to get in just to get stuff ready for today. But yeah, it'll be good fun.
It will be.
Happy days. Let's go drink tea.
Got a hole in it.
Yeah, so you can get your hand in.
Good job I didn't use it as a prophylactic.
Prophylactic. How old are you?
Simon puts rubber gloves into the engine to block it out. He said it's easier to get out after it's washed.
Yeah, and it forms a better seal in there for when you're cleaning.
And to clean it, we will press wash.
We're going to pressure wash it, yeah, we'll gunk it. Pressure wash it.
Gunk it.
Cover it in gunk. It's been sat at the back of the workshop for about...
So what are you blocking?
This is the inlets. That's the exhausts.
Okay, and that's it. Nothing else
Yeah,
needs to
apart
be
from a
blocked.
couple of little air hoses, just whack a bolt in it.
Okay.
We're going to thoroughly dry it out afterwards. When we've done it, we're not going to leave it wet. So
Just whack a bolt in it.
huh?
Just whack a bolt in it. Just put a bolt in it.
Whack a bolt in it.
For people who don't understand.
Place a bolt in this. It's part of the air cleaning system. Place a bolt in it.
It says magnesium.
Yes.
Why?
Light.
Why does it have to say on the engine magnesium?
Believe it or not, because this is very, very like aluminium, magnesium.
Or people will think it's aluminium.
People will think it's aluminium, and if it's got a crack or damage on it, they'll try and weld it.
And you can't weld
Whoa,
magnesium.
no, this
Why
shit lit
not?
the fan if you try, because it's blow up.
Should we try it? For
No,
experimental purposes?
no,
Not on this engine.
no,
Do you
because
have...
it will blow my torch up and everything.
Really?
Yes.
Even like a little tiny bit?
Horrible magnesium.
You can't even wiggle or tickle anything?
You can, but not
So you
with my
can?
setup.
No?
No.
Did you spray my face with that?
Yeah.
With gum? I've been told that I can use quite a lot of pressure, just have to be careful with the inlets and all the plugged holes. Don't put too much pressure on that. But apart from that, I can get pretty close. It washed off pretty nicely, as you can see. Like this side looks brilliant, this side. And then this side has a road gunk that doesn't come off. So this we try to rub off and it's not coming off. It's gonna either stay like this or it has to be repainted. It's two options. Oh, that's Deej! Yeah, I told him I'm coming. He said he might come. Can you hear it? He changed it. He changed the exhaust. It doesn't sound like a sewing machine anymore.
Hello.
What exhaust have you?
I've changed it.
There's no fucking Bentley.
Good, yeah?
You made it!
Yes, I did.
Look at his beard.
I know, right? Look at this.
I was doing the speed limit the whole way.
Your beard, man.
We can see it. We can see it.
Each one of those.
Okay. That's better. Oh, you got a pair of gloves for me as well ready.
So I've even got all the tools out ready.
You are so good, like a helping nurse.
I am an apprentice.
No, you know the apprentice can't do that stuff.
Well, that's
because
what an apprentice
don't
should
know.
do. An apprentice
Really,
should see
to get
what task is involved and then lay the technician's tools out for him.
Yeah, but if you don't know what to...
You're right, yeah.
You can challenge me to to lay your tools.
That's it, yeah. Right, I'm going to do this now, so what do I need?
Okay, let's do that.
Okay.
That's going to be fun.
I will do that, yes. The nice thing, or the not so nice thing about building a track-ready bike is you don't grease everything up, because the last thing you want is everything coated in grease. Because
Okay.
you don't want grease coming off
No,
anywhere onto tyres.
So is that all right or
That's
too
fine,
much?
yeah. So put a blob in there as well. Okay, hold it there. Beautiful.
Good from here.
That's the lock one.
Doing the same?
Yep. Top yoke. And that requires a socket.
A special socket?
No, we'll do this one up when we put the fork legs in.
Okay, can you explain us the linkage, please, sir?
Yes, I can explain us the linkage. The reason a linkage is used instead of a direct is to allow for more movement or less movement, but the shock will work more. Superbikes, MotoGP bikes can have different length linkage arms depending on ride height, can have different linkage itself to allow for the shock to start earlier in its stroke or later in its stroke, depending on what circuits you go to. It's as well as having adjustable swing arms and stuff on superbikes that give you have an eccentric. Lengthen the swing arm or shorten the swing arms, the same sort of thing that you can do with a shock linkage, depending on what circuit you have, whether it's circuit specific as to how the bike's handling, whether you need more weight on the front or whether you need to transfer more weight to the back, or where you need the swing arm and the shock to be working at certain parts on the circuit, they'll change the shock linkage.
So
for
one
different
bike can have a
ratios.
few,
Yeah.
and they changing them depending on the...
Yeah.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it's infinitely adjustable what you can have done, as well as in the early days of racing these, the shocks you could get didn't have a ride height on them. This has got a shock length, so we can alter the length of the shock. But in the early Olins that came out for these bikes we were racing them didn't have a ride height on them or the shock length on them. So we used to cheat and we used to put a 5mm spacer underneath here to lift, to put more weight on the front of the bike, because Suzuki's tended to be a little bit flighty on the front. To do that with this shock would be pointless because we've got our adjustment here, so we can just put 5mm on this shaft here and that will give us the same effect, but it will keep the shock working within its parameters. Whereas if we was to do that with this, the shock could be starting slightly later in its stroke, so it would already be past its stroke. The shock would already start working prior to it working. And we're running a stock linkage because it's the only linkage we've got. That's why we're using a stock linkage. I've greased these already. Everything's been greased, but cleaned thoroughly afterwards because I don't want any excess grease anywhere on this bike. Even with the wheel spindles, we won't grease the wheel spindles. Whereas road bikes, you grease the wheel spindles up, blah, blah, blah. We won't on these. What I'd normally do is use a little bit of sticky chain lube. Any other make is available, but a bit of sticky chain lube on a rag, and I'll use that on the bolts instead of greasing them.
nice.
Well, isn't it? Right, we're going to pop some fork legs in. I might have on the pipeline some Olin's legs. Touch wood. But we're going to run stock jigsaw forks at the moment for just building the chassis up. Told you that was loose.
Very loose.
That's got it, that'll hold the leg. Now the other side. That's it, well done. Ball ends.
If everyone wants to hire a new racing team,
What are you going to call it? Bodget and Scarpa?
Suffolk and what? Ball end 6.
Simon, you can turn up on your creeper
That's it. Hello!
when you get tired. I'll bring the brolly.
Hello!
I suppose it's better than being no fucking good.
Norfolk and good. I had 2 race bikes.
No fucking good.
One was called Norfolk and good, and the other one was called Suffolk and what?
I'm a Suffolk lad. Looking like a bike, isn't it?
Shoo, shoo, dee.
Easy. Easy, isn't it, really?
Much easier than that little cafe racer.
That is like mind-blowing. That is the eye-opening, mind-blowing experience I just experienced, and now I'm not sure what I like more, this or riding South France.
This. Take this.
I think at least it's
Use
equal.
that on those roads in France.
Oh my God, imagine.
Yeah.
Imagine.
That'd be chipping. Okay, who's in charge of the wheel? Who's in charge of lifting?
I can be in charge of the lifting because I'm the strongest one here.
Yes, it probably is actually.
It's not heavy.
Is it not?
No, you could lift it with one hand.
Really?
Yeah.
You can lift it like that.
Like that?
No, you're underneath it, you plant.
You've got to lift it
You've got to
like
wheelie it.
Do you have to wheelie it?
Yeah.
that high.
Just like that?
Yeah. Lift. That's it. Wheelie it. Up, 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 down, slightly. wheel goes in.
Nice. See if we can get more room to take the nuts on. No,
You have to lift it a little bit. Okay.
do that
like
way
this.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, look, the spacers. Caught the spacer.
Yep. Yeah.
It's coming together quite quickly, isn't it?
Put new bearings in this.
No, they're just really good bearings. Yeah, really good.
What's the plan?
Well, what?
What's the plan?
What?
What's the plan?
What?
What's the plan?
There's a boy stuck down a mine. Is there? Really? Richard, what have you done to my dog?
He's not allowed to come in there and do stuff, so he sends the dog.
You're my high, hey, your way.
Why do you bring sex toys into the workshop?
It's an aubergine.